Hello, and welcome to Chapter 19 of the SPAD build. In this chapter, I will be setting up and using the Vanessa Balancing Rig to try to establish my center of gravity. With somewhat surprising results. These first few still photos will show the setup for the Vanessa rig as applied to my aircraft. According to the instructions I had, the Vanessa rig should have the rope around both wings on a biplane, which will show the results of the Vanessa rig balancing. So here's my attempt at using the Vanessa rig to balance the aircraft. So just a quick look at different things that are involved here. There is the pulley suspension, the tube that holds the basically a broomstick with wraps of rope that basically go around the wings, top and bottom. And at this point, I have leveled the airplane, as we can see here, level bubble. And right now, with that plumb bob swinging there still slightly, it should show us exactly where the center of gravity or the balance point of this airplane is. So let's just take a quick look over here. And if you look down on this, you can see the mark that I made on the cover on the wing, and it's approximately 1.75 inches away. So we're exceedingly tail heavy at this point, which is kind of disappointing, but not surprising, because of the paint issues I had earlier on. So anyway, I'm going to hang some weights on here so you can see the difference. Okay, at this point I have now added some weight, and I have some lead weights suspended in that bag and basically just hung on the prop shaft of the motor. And as you can see, the aircraft is a decidedly nose down configuration, and the plumb bob obviously is not showing exactly where it needs to be. So what I have to do is level the airplane, and that's going to be accomplished by turning this right here so we can get the airplane level. So I'll turn it this way, and as you can see, the airplane is coming down. It's kind of hard to hold this and turn this at the same time. So now the bubble level is indicating that we are level. So we should see what the plumb bob is going to do. And everything being correct, we can see that it is pointing directly, maybe slightly ahead of the mark that I have. So that's very good. We're a little bit nose heavy. The unfortunate part of it is inside that bag is 5.5 pounds of lead. This is way tail heavy. Not happy with that at all. So I'm not really happy about the Vanessa rig weight and balance results. 5.5 pounds of nose weight to balance the aircraft is extreme. Basically, it's not something I'm really happy with. So anyway, I did a little thinking about it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try something that I used to do on all my model airplanes. So I disassembled the Vanessa rig, and I took my thumbs. I put them underneath the wing at the 4-inch mark, and I lifted the airplane. And lo and behold, believe it or not, it only took 2.5 pounds of lead to balance the aircraft, which is more in line with what this particular aircraft usually requires. So I said, well, there's something significantly wrong. 3 pounds difference is dramatic. 3 ounces is dramatic as well, but 3 pounds is crazy. So I'm going to build myself a balancing rig so that I can balance it with a leveling arms, and see what kind of results I get with that. It's the way I used to do it, using my thumbs, but I want to build a bracket that I can do it properly and see what comes out. I don't want to add 5.5 pounds to the nose of this thing, but I don't want to fly it in a tail heavy configuration as well. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll give you an update when that's completed. Hello, and once again, welcome to my shop. As you know, in the previous videos, I had some issues with the Vanessa balancing rig. to the point that it was asking for 5.5 pounds to balance the aircraft, which seemed ludicrous to me. So I did a quick thumbs under the wing, the old-fashioned way, testing it, and it was showing about half of that, about 2.5 pounds. So I decided there had to be a better way, so I constructed a very simple, just strap wood balancing rig. And I also decided that I would order some scales, and I'm going to balance the aircraft using the weight on the landing gear, the front and the rear, and then do the moments and do the calculations like you would on a full-size aircraft. So hopefully between the two, I'll come up with something that'll work. So behind me, I have it set up now. I'm going to take a few minutes and I'll walk you through what I have done, and hopefully the results will be a little bit more in line with what I think they should be. So, as I said in the beginning, this is just something I threw together with the scrap material I had around, but basically it's an enlargement of a similar one that I had for smaller models. So you can see the bottom is anchored down. I have it clamped so it won't move around, and there's also spacers between it to keep it aligned. And then the balancing is actually accomplished by a aluminum pivot on top of the arm. And if you look up there, you can see the mark onto it. Now, I did have a piece of tape, you can see in the back here, but it didn't come out quite far enough. So I need 4 inches from the leading edge. So what I used was my square, and I just put the 4-inch mark onto it. And then I just bring it up, bring it out to there. And as you can see, we're right on the 4-inch mark. So very happy with that. In the bag that I have here on the front is the weight that I've been adding to get the aircraft balanced. And we'll just go over on the other side and you can check to see that again, there's my mark, and I'll bring the square over and you'll see that, yes, it is right on the center of that bolt. So we know that's in good shape right there. Now, the aircraft is balanced. Pardon me while I move around. So here's my bubble level, and as you can see, it's centered. If I rock the airplane, it will come right back to balance. So this is a simple setup, but it is effective, and I think it's going to give me the results that I want. So now I have the plane off the scale, or off the balancing rig, I should say, but I do have the scales, so I can weigh how much lead it took to balance this aircraft. Now, if you remember correctly, the Vanessa said 5.5 pounds. My thumb said 2.5 pounds. And this balancing rig is going to say what? Let us see. And that looks like 3.5 pounds. So that's quite a discrepancy between those 3 different methods. I can't wait to see what's going to be when I do the scales and do the weight and the moments. That should be very interesting. Another video is coming up. So, back in the shop again, and trying to come up with some way to add that significant amount of weight to the aircraft. And as everybody knows, the closer to the nose, or closer to the prop that you can get it, the less weight you have to use. And of course, the closer to the center of gravity, the more you have to use. So I've decided what I'm going to do. The cowling does come off in one piece, and there is some depth and some room in here to put some lead in there. So what I decided to do was basically cut a plug, a wooden plug, as you can see here. And this plug here will hold about 11.5 cubic inches. Now the lead required to balance it right here, if you can see that, I have 5 pieces like this, and they actually add up to 10 cubic inches. So it will fit in here without any problem. The thing is now is how to make it permanent, so it can, or not necessarily permanent, but make it so it can be attached in there and secured. So what I came up with was basically using a aluminum strap, which will lay across in the mold. This will actually be molded out so it fits inside the lead, and then I'll route out this areas in here, where the tabs are, and then I can screw that or bolt that right to this mount. That should make it very, very secure. At least that's what I hope. One of the other pluses that will come out of using this lead up in this particular area, which I should point out, if you can see this area here has nothing in it. So basically that's where this is going to set. So not very much obstruction inside the engine compartment. And as a matter of fact, what it's actually going to allow me to do, if you can see this, it's going to block off the top part. And so I think that'll make for better airflow for cooling of the engine, because I think with all this area here, there's more inlet than there is outlet, and you know that that doesn't work. You want to have more outlet than inlet. So I think it's going to be a positive thing. Obviously, I'll paint it black or something so it's not quite as obvious, but I think that'll work out quite well. At least, I hope so. I just finished routing out the wooden plug that I'm going to be using to cast my lead weight, and as you can see here, I now have it routed out so that the piece of metal strapping that I'm going to use will fit in there flush like that, and it'll be anchored to the lead permanently, and holes drilled here and here, so it'll mount to the nose bowl. So I think that should work out very fine. So my next step is to get my sand ready to make the sand casting, and using this plug and melting down the lead. Should be working on that tomorrow, not tonight. Have a great evening, guys. So that's a wrap for chapter 19. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Stay tuned for chapter 20, where we'll be looking at making the mold, sand casting, pouring the lead, and hopefully having the right amount of weight.